human experience of day-to-day living provides us with numerous challenges that feels like we're on a journey. But ultimately, when we have completed this process that we regard as a journey, we find that we have traveled from ourself to ourselves.
Often on this journey called life, we're unaware of what lies just around the corner, what storms we may need to weather. Yet sometimes, it's in the midst of our worst crisis that the light of our soul shines through. We live in a country where a woman is raped every 26 seconds, and every minute, 2 people are murdered. According to research studies, the psychological consequences of the rampant crime situation in South Africa affect us all deeply. They shatter our belief that our fellow human beings are fundamentally benign and well-meaning, and collapse all assumptions about the universe being a meaningful and orderly place. So in the midst of this grave crisis, is there any possible way to take a positive and proactive stance against crime? One brave man overcame a deep-seated prejudice and fear of criminals, as well as his own traumatic crime incident, to teach meditation and advanced breathing techniques at prison institutions throughout Southern Africa. Chintz Bana holds the firm belief that crime starts and is controlled from within our prisons. By changing prisoners, he feels that we can meaningfully change the country.
One of the issues we face specifically in this country is the high rate of crime. And my journey has taught me that I need to deal with that. And I dealt with it by going into prison and seeing prisoners have the same desires, feelings, expectations as I have.
Now when you go back in there, you have to make a difference to 2 people.
Even if we have been victims of crime, which I have been, I've had to deal with it through meeting up, confronting the prisoners, and realizing that they are human like me and you.
This guy was looking at yesterday. I want to complain about them, but after that exercise, I forget all the
things. Amazingly, the seeds of Chintz's work today lie in a remote place. It all started with a serious illness of his only son, Damesh, who was diagnosed with nephritic syndrome, an acute kidney disorder.
Way back in 1984, my son, who was 2 years old then, became critically ill, to a point where he ended up in hospital for a couple of weeks. And we as new parents were quite shocked, and running around up and down to hospital really emotionally drained us. We consulted many doctors, and with this, being newly married with a new kid, we ended up paying now extra into a medical aid because we didn't budget for it, and that created some strain as well from a financial perspective.
Initially, when we first found out that he's got nephritis, it was pretty traumatic because we didn't even know what it meant. But at that stage, Chintz was very, very upset about the whole thing. And He was even getting very angry because Dharmesh was put onto cortisones, and he had a temper at that point in time.
When we were going through the crisis in our life, we did ask the question, why me? Why did it happen to us? There's so many families that God could choose. Why did He choose us?
Chintz decided to explore alternative therapies when his problems worsened and he lost his job. He was led to a volunteer-based healing center run by Norma Hartman. Here at the center, a homeopathic tonic was prepared for Chintz's son. Whereas all the previously prescribed drugs had failed to effect a cure, and had even led to severe side effects, these natural remedies soon showed positive results. Before long, Dharmesh was on the road to recovery. From Ayurveda to naturopathy, Chinese medicine and African traditional remedies, we've inherited a wealth of ancient healing modalities. But are these at risk of being eroded by a fast-paced society in need of quick-fix solutions?
We have superb medical means available to ourselves nowadays. The advances have been phenomenal. What we need not forget is that we sometimes need alternatives to the quick fix solution of an injection and a pill.
To treat the body without dealing with energy, without dealing with soul, without dealing with life task, is perhaps to bring some relief from symptom, but often not to bring true cure.
Much to Chintz's surprise, despite curing his son, Norma did not expect any financial reward for her help.
What for me caught my attention to that sanctuary was the selfless service that they were doing. You know, when I went to pay, they said, no, it's on a donation basis. And here was somebody that was giving up her life to help other people without any expectation of reward. She wasn't charging a cent. If you put 5 cents in the box, that was fine. If you put 50 rand in the box, that was fine.
The incident was an eye-opener for Chintz. For the first time, he had encountered someone who worked for a reward other than rands and cents. He realized that Norma used a different currency altogether, that of the fulfillment of giving.
Finding happiness or joy can be paradoxical. If we set out to find joy for ourselves, we usually won't. And one of the best ways to become happy yourself is to make others happy.
You know, many of us have this concept that service is about going off and starting a soup kitchen or something like that. But service can really also just be an attitude. How do you approach the roles that you play in your life?
With his family's medical crisis now behind him, Chintz began a rapid ascent up the corporate ladder. Success came quickly, but it was not all he had hoped it would be.
Okay. Please, man. Thank you. Okay. Bye. I'm out of the office for half an hour. Okay.
Chintz Bana had learned the powerful lesson of selfless service from the woman who cured his young son of a near-fatal illness. But this lesson seemed to recede into the background as he made a steady and concerted climb to financial success.
You know, everybody in life wants to climb the ladder, and I had the same emotions, the same drive, the same persistence to want to get to the top. Done.
And get to the top he did, but it was a hollow victory.
I realized that I had the job. In the position I was, I'd been at the top. I had the Mercedes. I had the salary package. But I was empty. There was something in me that wasn't fulfilled.
As his accomplishments grew, so did the stress. All the material things that once defined success for him were starting to seem meaningless.
And what I found was, as soon as you possessed something, it lost its charm. And as soon as it lost its charm, you went on to the next thing that you wanted to acquire. And this gathering of material things was actually pulling me down. Because the more I had, the less happy I was.
With his wife's encouragement, Chintz attended an Art of Living self-development course. During the program, he learnt a powerful revitalizing breathing technique that helped him to release work stress, as well as deeply entrenched painful memories.
6, hold, 2, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4.
During the breathing techniques, I found that I was being emotionally emptied. Throughout my life, I had some crises, including crime, and I needed to, normally we just lock it in place, and subconsciously I'd lock these things in place. And with these breathing techniques, I felt an immense release of that. And when I got up out of the relaxation position, I found a huge load being taken off my shoulder.
Chintz's life was so strongly impacted by these exercises that he now practices them daily.
Some of the processes taught made me realize the secret was in the breath. That the breath is the only connection we have with the mind. Because through these breathing exercises, I realized that I could quieten the mind. And in quietening the mind, I found my soul.
While we can survive without food for up to 40 days, or live without water for 5 to 7 days, just 4 minutes without breathing can prove fatal. Simply put, if we don't breathe, we don't live. According to recent studies conducted at the University of California Medical School, 90% of the world's urban population have a restricted breathing pattern, creating chronic tension in the body. Ancient yogic sciences hold that by making our breathing process conscious, we're able to significantly resolve such stress and anxiety. By simply controlling and manipulating our prana, that is, the life force energy that animates us all, we're able to restore ourselves to optimal physical and mental health, deepen our meditations, and powerfully release repressed emotions. To further enhance these healing and beneficial effects, Chintz practices another ancient technique taught to him during the Art of Living program. These are ritual hand formations and are called mudras. It's believed that they help to redirect the flow of energy to the body's various sacred centers. For an overall strengthening of his body, Chintz starts his day with one of the oldest forms of physical exercises known to humanity, yoga.
Yoga meaning union of body, breath and mind. Going through certain postures that allow your body to flex in different directions, and the flexing is actually very good to allow blood to flow through your system.
Yoga is far more than just a physical exercise. It also has a profound effect on your mind. So it does increase the strength of your muscles, it increases your flexibility, enhances your digestion. Definitely does all of those things. But it also really calms the mind, improves focus, so much more productivity in your work, leaving you time to do the things that you really want to do.
Chintz's sessions always end with a few moments of deep silence, during which he chants a syllable called a mantra. Said to be potently charged with divine vibrations, he says that this sacred word helps to deepen his connection to spirit. After completing the Art of Living self-development program, Chintz Bana had discovered a renewed sense of purpose in his life. His prior preoccupation with the material trappings of success was now replaced by a deep yearning to help others. He started up a vocational sewing project in the Deep Sloot squatter camp and also trained as an Art of Living teacher. Today, he's found his passion by teaching the course to maximum security prisoners around the country.
2. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4.
He finds this so fulfilling that he has opted to work for just 3 weeks of every month, taking a substantial cut in his salary so that he can dedicate the remaining week to his work at the prisons. He feels that the financial sacrifice has been worth it.
What I did realize though, after I had taken the jump, was that all through my years, my needs were always being provided for. It's my wants that kept me unhappy.
The prison's stress management and rehabilitation training program that Chintz teaches is customized to the needs of the prison inmates and is aimed at ending the cycle of violence. The specifically tailored breathing exercises release the accumulated effects of stress from the nervous system, thus helping participants manage negative emotions in a safe and non-violent manner. Inmates are also taught life skills that enable them to accept responsibility for their past actions and to handle future conflict and stressful situations successfully. Teaching the program has enabled Chintz to heal the painful memories of being a victim of crime himself. It has also helped him to look past the violent facade and into the hearts of these hardened criminals.
We are made up of love. We are love, love. The whole world is propelled by love. Then what is anger? Anger is love standing upside down. That sense of love that then transforms and becomes anger can be reversed back into love by doing some of these practices of meditation and the breathing techniques.
This course is actually extraordinary course.
I do feel really that I'm a better man and I've changed a lot in my life.
Even my self-esteem was a little bit of low. This course also, it helped me to believe in myself also.
You need to inform the other guys so that they must participate in the courses and also have the knowledge that we have, so that we must make a better world when we go outside.
It changed my life and the anger in me, but now I feel like a better person, like an angel.
So everybody has the ability. All you have to do is help them achieve their ability.
It's not only the course, but Chintz too, who has been an inspiration to the inmates.
So you can all that. Once you've achieved your goal, don't stop there. Help other people achieve their goal.
He didn't ask us to do something against our will. You see, he was the one that encouraged us to come to the course and learn different techniques. You see, so for me, he's a good guy. Actually, he inspired me a lot.
somebody coming up to you and saying, Mr. Chintz, you've made a difference. I feel different. I can feel that I'm going to achieve what I need to achieve. No money in the world can buy that. I just need to change one person in the class who then can change his immediate society.
In Chintz's story, working with prisoners is actually working with one's shadow. The crime that those prisoners effected is really the crime that arises from our own projection of fear. And to embrace those prisoners in the kind of work that he has been doing is embracing one's shadow. And this is not just personal healing. I see it as social healing.
So what does Chintz's story tell us about attaining that happy balance between meeting our own financial needs and meaningfully contributing to society?
The challenge for me was to find that work-life balance. And I must admit these practices have contributed largely to that. Because you're more emotionally stable, you're able to make decisions around the balance, finding enough time for work, enough time for family, enough time for charity.
His transformation has also had a positive effect on the home front.
Prior to me doing all these practices, I was very aggressive, wouldn't listen to other people's point of view, and that has softened quite a bit. It's allowed me to allow my children, specifically and my family, to express their point of views and listen to them and allow them to blossom in the way they need to blossom.
He's a much calmer person now. He's not aggressive, or even if he does get angry, he's out of it quickly.
You know, he's just a great guy. He's got a huge heart. If ever you need anything, he'll be there. He might come across as stern and strict and the rest of it, but that's a heart of gold, and that's something I really aspire towards. I don't think I've got there yet, but it's really a role model and a place that I would like to be.
On this journey, I've realized that life is a rhythm. So when we fall out of that rhythm, we are stressed. Day follows night. Spring follows winter. There's a definite rhythm. Animals are governed by the rhythm. Similarly, we are governed by this natural rhythm in life. And it's that connecting back to that rhythm that gives you that peace, that serenity. I want to live my life as an example for other people to see that there is an alternate way of living. It's about being of service to humanity. Wherever I can uplift somebody, I would do that. And that's my sole purpose in life.